Hello, my name is Aiden Wood. Welcome to the Med Talk podcast. I hope you are having a good day. Today we will be talking about the psychological disorder Munchausen Syndrome. Now, I want you to imagine this terrifying story along with me. You were born in 1991. Your name is Gypsy Rose. While you were an infant, you were diagnosed with sleep apnea. You continue on being healthy and living until age 8, when your mother, D.D. Blanchard, describes you as suffering from leukemia and muscular dystrophy, which would also go on to include seizures, asthma, as well as hearing and visual impairments. She said a consequence of these was you needing a wheelchair. You ask her, "But Mom, why do you say this? I'm fine. I can walk." She tells you, "It doesn't matter what you want. Who will believe you? They will think you're a fraud. We wouldn't want that to happen, now would we?" So, now you feel like you're stuck not being able to tell anyone. And as you grow older, your mother starts altering medical documents to alter your age, so now you were stuck with her for even longer. You're now 19 years old, but legally, you are still a minor. You meet a boy at a science fiction convention. You like him, and you start to get along really well. After spending some time with him and realizing how great normal life is, you've made up your mind, and you're going to run away with him. You leave at night, and you think you've gotten away with it, but your mom tracks you down and tells the man that you're a minor, and out of confusion he lets her take you. When you get home, she smashes your computer and ties you to the bed, refusing to feed you for a while. After a few years, it is now 2015, and you still live with your mother. You've managed to get back online though, so you decide to join a Christian dating site. You meet a man there named Nicholas Gojon. You feel like you can trust him. You tell him the truth about your mother's accusations. He realizes how bad your situation is. You're sick of your mother, and you want to live your life. You tell Nick that you want him to kill her. After a bit of convincing, he agrees. You set up a night for him to come. The night of, he tells you to hide in the bathroom with your ears covered. You do so as he says. After he is done, you leave with him back to his home in Wisconsin. You're happy. You know that now for the rest of your life you'll get to live as a normal human being. After a while, you are found by the police. You and Nick are taken into custody and will be on trial. After the trial, you will be eligible for parole in 2024, and Nick will be stuck there for life. This here is the tragic story of Gypsy Rose. Her mother was diagnosed later with Munchausen Syndrome and Munchausen Syndrome by Proxy. This syndrome is very scary and has too many stories like the one you just heard. Munchausen Syndrome is a psychological disorder where someone pretends to be ill or deliberately produces symptoms of illness in themselves. According to the Psychiatric Times, 30 to 70% of those who falsify illness in their children also falsify illness in themselves, which is the case for this story. Munchausen Syndrome by proxy is when the parent or caregiver falsifies illness in the child for attention. It's very scary, and there's too many cases of it, and that's why it's so well looked into, and that's why people are so scared of this happening. Munchausen Syndrome is a psychological disorder where someone pretends to be ill or deliberately produces symptoms of illness in themselves. The main intention of to assume the sick role is so that people will care for them and they are the center of attention. Any practical benefit in pretending to be sick, for example claiming incapacity benefit, is not the reason for their behavior. People with Munchausen Syndrome can be very manipulative, and in the most serious cases may undergo painful and sometimes life-threatening surgery, even though they know it's unnecessary. Munchausen Syndrome may be caused by parental neglect and abandonment, or other childhood trauma in some cases. They develop this because of their parents lying to They develop this because of their parents lying to others about the child's mental or physical illnesses, and then they truly believe that they do. A It could be that the person has an unstable sense of their own identity and has difficulty forming meaningful relationships with others. Playing this sick role allows them to adopt an identity that brings support and acceptance from others. Admission to hospital also gives a person a clearly defined place in the social network. Treating Munchausen syndrome can be very difficult because most people with it refuse to admit they have problems and refuse to cooperate with treatment plans. There is no reliable statistic regarding the total number of people in the U.S. who suffer from this disorder. That's because individuals with Munchausen syndrome are likely to lie about it. They insist that their false symptoms are real. Caregivers with Munchausen syndrome by proxy create or exaggerate a child's symptoms in several ways. These include lying about a child's symptoms, manipulating blood tests. For example, a woman in Kentucky contaminated a urine sample with blood for her child. They also can be falsifying medical records, inducing symptoms by poisoning, suffocating, starving, or even injecting feces causing an infection. People with Munchausen by proxy usually deny that they did anything wrong, thus they will resist treatment, hence therapy will not be effective. Well, that's all that we really have time for today. Thank you for joining me on the Med Talk podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.